Grand evening. I probably should like look up this year. I think this is episode 2 of this year because I don't think I made any episodes until like February. February 28th was one. It's March 31st, so this will be 2. And I think it's 7:34 p.m. March 31st, 2024. I surmise. Okay. This episode of Bearli Doing Stuff Now with Words is going to be titled Bearli a Savior. And I think it's fitting because today is also Easter. I'm going to start out with the definition of Savior. And I'm going to look in the Google real quick because, I gotta start doing stuff. I don't make footnotes, guys. I thought I would eventually do that, and it just doesn't happen that way. Define Savior. Okay. Define Savior.
Here's the definition of definition.
That's not what
a statement of the exact meaning of a word, especially in a dictionary.
Thanks, Google. I appreciate you. Define Savior.
Here's the definition of savior. A person who saves someone or something, especially a country or cause, from danger, and who is regarded with the veneration of a religious figure.
Wow. Okay, look at that. And this topic matter came up because a lot of the time my partners have deemed me some type of top. If you're not familiar with what a top is, it is normally someone who is in a hierarchy of above others. Because there are 2 placements. There are several placements you can take, and top is just one of them. I won't say that there's 2 because that's a very small dichotomy, and I don't really want to play in that game. But I have been called that very frequently because of the way that I use diction, the way that I use English, the way that I'm very stark in contrast in comparison to other things like my mannerisms. I'm very much a don't hurt my person type of person. And for those who don't understand what that means is if I'm engaging with this person as a partner, I consider my siblings my partners too because we both agree to stay in siblingry with one another. I used that neologism just now on my own accord. And I don't tend to have things like friends more frequently than not because it's a very loose-fitting word and it doesn't have a mutual benefit, nor does it have a mutual destruction in set. And I tend to think partners come with both mutual benefit and mutual destruction if things go awry. So I tend to make everyone, to some extent, my partner. Doesn't always have to be sexual, doesn't always have to be romantic, but the word that I prefer when engaging with others is partnership. Like I'm a partnership with my plants. We both come to agreement that the thing we want to happen is for them to grow. Growth is the experiment in understanding. I bring that up to say is that I have been called a top, or I have been called a caregiver, and I have labeled myself in more recent years a steward. I know. It's a bit of a conundrum there because they almost conflict one another, and I wholeheartedly respect that. And I really want that to be something that's understood. Like a steward is in charge of a flock, more often than not, a large space, and provides security and protection over a space. And so when I think of myself as a steward, I think of like the vastness of what I'm trying to steward, what I'm attempting to put most effort into stewarding, and how. A steward doesn't necessarily force things to happen, A steward takes care of things that are in transition of happening already. So like, I'm not thinking of shepherd. I think you might be thinking of shepherd because of Jesus references today in Eagle with Easter, and I'm not doing that. I'm thinking of steward. It's just different words. Shepherd and steward are two different words. Just for those who may get some things confused, even though I am speaking English very clearly. Just a footnote. Just a footnote. English is my second language, so I know the words that I'm using, because if I didn't know the words that I was using, when I was younger, people would torment me about the word choice that I was using. So I tend to be very, very much a stickler for the particular word that I'm using, so that there is absolutely no way we can have confusion there. But I digress, because you still get confused very frequently, which is a whole nother ordeal. But I'm going to talk to myself more in the camera and have hilarity and enjoyment with the process that I'm experiencing right now. I'm doing it now because tomorrow is April Fool's Day, and I don't want to put it out tomorrow and have a whole scenario. Again, I digress. So like, the barely a savior. I am not a super saver hoe. I used to be a people pleaser. At some point in my life, where I thought through experimentation with families and friends that if I didn't please the person in front of me specifically and directly, that I was doing something horrid to that person. I did not give them a type of love that they were asking for, and it made me a bad person for not being able to do it. And it used to bring me so much distress, so much distress, to think that I was not able to provide someone with a level of comfort that they were asking me for. I don't feel like that now. I don't feel like that at all. I don't. If you upset, you mad, and that's a you thing. And this previous week leading up to this particular Easter Sunday, 31st, 2024 of March. A lot of people this week in my little solar system had expressed, and I say a lot, like 6. I'm not a lot. I know a lot more people than 6. Like 6 people in this little solar system I'm experiencing assumed that I would have some foreknowledge or an experience with what to do in their dynamics. And then often people just show up in my field, and this comes back down to my preferred engagement with others is direct communication. I think I could just start a whole series on direct communication and it'd be accurate for the human race. I really, 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 really respond well to request. I respond so well to request. And I do my very best to request what I need when I need it. And I don't ask for more than what I need. I'm not like, oh man, I need $7 million. Unless the property I am wanting to purchase is $7 million, very specifically, loan officer. If you just want to agree to those things, that'd be great. No need to prove anything in specific. If you just want to agree, if you just want to agree to get me some land, that'd be great. I appreciate that, loan officer. Yes. I'll totally give America's money back. Not that you can't print more or anything like that, but whatever. Just say okay to the money so that I can get land. Direct communication is my preferred language of choice. My preferred diction. It's my preferred diction. And so more frequently than not, people have not gone into themselves to look for God or to look for their creator and then taken all of the responsibility that makes them the facilitation for what is happening in their current dynamic. I am currently experiencing houselessness, and I live in transitional housing. It is a bomb experience. Okay, and I say bond like, this is pretty pleasant. And those who don't speak AAVE or um, current Gen Z dynamic, it is a very pleasurable houselessness, and I have been outside before, so this is a much better, much more enjoyable preference of words, much more enjoyable version of houselessness. Because yes, I am without a house, but I do have um, a facility in which I stay in, which is pretty pleasurable again in my experience, not to everybody's experience. Um, but yes, so the savior exists within inside yourself. This may be shorter than the ones previous to this point in time because I have several things I want to rant about, and I don't know if they would all go well in this particular dynamic. Just because it's me talking to myself, and I know I'm talking to myself, and I know the things I know, and I know I don't know nothing. I'm sorry. I know nothing, and I know nothing knows me. I know I don't know nothing. That's so good. I know I don't know anything. I know nothing, and I know nothing knows me. I know nothing, and nothing knows me. Okay? So I'm aware that I don't have any idea of the multitudes of the vastness that exist outside of this vessel. There is no way. There is no way in the ethereal damnation that I have a grasp on all of the atoms behind me, like doing a thing. You know, I don't have it. I know I don't have it. I know I do have a majority of the grasp on like this very small region. this, 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 and I say small relative because this thing is like 28 inches around. You know, it's relatively big for hats. This small region here, because I got some intrinsic knowledge about this small region here. And I'm pretty good with that. I'm super solid. I'm super solid on the full understanding that I have of this tiny portion of the vastness of my universe in this my vessel, this thing. I still don't know the name of the person that made this, and I have forgotten the name of the people who handed it to me. I don't know where I picked this piece of metal up at. I know it's in my nose right now. I know this piece of jewelry came from a fair of some sort in Portland. I don't know where I got this circle from. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know everything. And I express that very vastly. I do know a lot of this. A lot of this. And I'm okay with verbalizing this and everything this has come to understand. I am not very familiar with doing that for other vessels outside of myself. It's not. I don't. I don't have a lot of that squared off for others, you know, and I do my very best to elaborate that out loud, to offer up space of, while I am offering my opinion, this is not the truth for you. It is the experience that I'm experiencing, though, and you don't have to agree with my experience, but that does not stop my experience from happening. For instance, if someone is like, I feel abused, you can ask them how they feel abused, not if they feel abused, because they feel abused. And then you can say, cool, is it I who am abusing you? And if it is I who am abusing you, then, pardon me, I burped, then I can remove myself from you, or I can change my behavior, or they can remove themselves from you, or they can change how they perceive what is happening to them. I have been in some situations that were abusive that stopped being abusive because I stopped perceiving it as thus. One of these very clear scenarios where I used to walk around supermarkets when I first got to Portland. And I tried to have the white experience in my giant brown body. No. You can't. It's not one of the things you do. Also, I'm not like a fancy dresser. Arguable. I don't dress in a way that is more often societally posh and or current fashion. I like a hoodie. I love a hoodie. I love a hat. I like some pants that fit. Sometimes they can be taut. Tight like a tiger. And sometimes they're really baggy. It's rare, but get me up in a good jumper, and that's a whole ass thing, and I'm in that. But just going around the supermarket would attract this security. Still does. But it used to cause me so much panic in my like the previous experience was almost like anxiety. I understand and acknowledge that anxiety can occur because it's like, what do they think? What's going to happen? Are they going to come approach me? I used to be so terrified to stand in one place too long because then a store attendant would come asking me if I needed any assistance. And I would go, no. I'm standing in front of the thing I want to be looking at. And so I'm looking at it. Now I walk in the store like I own the place. I walk in the store and I find security and I go, sup? I can see that you can see me. Hey, just want you to know, I look like this today. So if you want to come ball out, do that. Also, like, real quick, I'm from the hood, y'all. I know I don't really do a lot of hood stuff and like how cute. But I grew up in the hood, with really hood people having really hood experiences in neighborhoods that were relatively safe sometimes. So undercover people in the supermarket doing undercover stuff in your undercover clothing, you look suspicious as hell to me because you doing awkward ass suspicious stuff. And just wasn't really about that today, but I had to rant on it a little bit because I said that there's several things really touching hard on my chest. But my point is that I perceived that I was under threat. So it used to freak me all the way out. I could barely go into a shopping store. Any kind of shopping array. It could be a co-op, it could be the thrift store, it could be supermarket, it could be Walmart, anything, anywhere I could go. It used to give me the biggest panic attacks, and I did not have a good time. I would always be sweating before I got up to pay things. I used to have an unlimited card. Some experience, okay? Just used to have an unlimited card with this person that I was engaged with, and it didn't matter. I would still feel like I was doing something wrong, I wouldn't stop to ask if there were bigger sizes to clothing, even though I need bigger sizes. I need some big sizes, y'all. I'm thick. My mother was thick. My mother is thick. My father was tall. My mother is tall. I'm both. I'm the tallest person in this generation of my family. I'm hoping somebody shoot past me. Somebody shoot right up by me. But as of right now, I'm the tallest in this generation, this lineage line here. My point in saying all that was that my perception of what I was experiencing was based upon how I felt about it. You know, I was like, oh man, I'm in danger. Like I went up to the front, asked the customer service, hey, could you get the security guard to stop following me around? It's creepy, you know, if you could just get that dude to stop following me around. So the next time I went back to the store, they sent a bigger goddamn security officer. What? They sent a bigger one. So, you know, it made it really difficult for me to like get through my life thinking that somebody was doing something to me, to think anything was happening to me. Even now when I have like disagreements with people, I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care that we're not in agreement right now. I don't like, you want me to understand you. And I do. I understand you. I'm also not about to do that. You were terrified. You were upset. You were having a reaction. You were having a reaction and it is causing you displeasure. And it is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that you were having that experience. And that sounds unpleasurable. And it does not sound like you enjoy that experience. And that sounds unfortunate. And I'm sending you healing and positivity. Also, I responded really softly because, you know, I'm a kind person. I'm not nice. I'm kind. I'm a kind person. I'm not nice. I am very kind. So I am very much in alignment with, you know, I didn't mean for that to be the experience that I was giving out to you or that you were going to receive from me today. That was not my intentions. My intentions was to create happy health and wealth for both of us. And it is unfortunate that that is not the experience that we are both experiencing simultaneously. It got dark as hell outside, so I just turned a little light on the computer, a little light, a little something, a little something. And so I would love for you to have an experience that is not the experience you're currently having with me. I understand that I'm a very opinionated person. I feel like I love opinionated people. I feel like I love people who are willing. Have you ever listened to a bird? Like, I don't know, as like a pet owner. As a pet owner, have you ever paid attention to your pet? Your pet is very opinionated. You may not feel like, oh, you know, is this bothersome? They're not using English. They're not using English. No, they're not using English. But your pet is saying stuff a good amount of the day, and either a whimper, a bark, a meow, a purr, a growl of some sort, a squeak, a squawk, a beak. I'm sorry, not beak. Chirp, you know, because, you know, more than just birds chirp. You know, some level of audio communication. It is happening. You don't know what they're talking about, though. You know, if I hit you with a couple all day long, that would be entertaining for a little bit until you really tried to want to understand something from me, because I am shaped like you, because I have the propensity to communicate in English. You would want more from me than just a couple bark, 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 meow, meows. Because you would have an understanding, at least right now and currently, you have an understanding that I am capable of communicating in this manner. If your animals can communicate the way to you and their opinionated way that they communicate on a daily basis, I don't think, first of all, I don't think domestication would have happened if when your cat was yelling at 6 in the morning, put food in my bowl right now, you stank ass hoe. I don't know. I don't know if your first response would be to put food in the bowl. You know, if first, hold on, who are you talking to like that? Excuse me, who? Nah. See, look, listen. Like, if you just put the food in the bowl, no, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, baby, you so cute. Yeah, I got you. I'll put some food in the bowl." But yeah, you know, that do it. That'll knock it clear out the stage for you. You know, or your dog just staring at you while you eating burgers. You know, hey, you don't need that. You already been putting on a little weight. You ain't been walking as fast on the walks as you used to walk. You know, if you don't really need all that burger. If you could just slide that burger over here, I would love that. I would, like, look, fat ass, listen. The last time you had fries, you immediately went to sleep, and I heard your heart stop while you were sleeping, so I barked to wake you up because you were scaring me because you started breathing a little bit. You got sleep apnea, but so if you just want to give me that burger, see you don't want to, you don't really you don't really want your dog and your cat talking to you. That's not probably the stuff that they're gonna say because I don't know your experience, but you don't really you don't really want your animal communicating the way that you communicate directly and being as opinionated about all of their experiences with you. Like your cats and your dogs, see y'all do the most disgusting shit in the whole world. Like your cats and dogs watch y'all take poops, watch you pick your nose, watch you have sex with your partners. They watch the way you cook. They don't watch you wash your hands. They see everything you do. And if they had the idea, the mental fortitude to process in the way that other animals or the way that humans do, it probably wouldn't be so pleasurable to listen to the opinion. So I get that my opinion may not be pleasurable to you. I'm going to give a story for most of these explanations because I like to simplify things, even though my stories are long-winded. I enjoy talking. If this is your first time at my podcast, if this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to Bearli Doing Stuff, now with words. Because this is me, Bear Light, doing stuff with words. And I'm just taking all of the time that I need to kind of create this wonderful landscape mentally for you so that you can grasp the story that I'm going through. I'm working my way up to building up towards a specific type of podcast, but the experience and the dynamic that I've been going through, that I consistently go through when I engage with humans, is that there's a level of communication that I don't think people really want to engage in, no matter what I say, in regards to what it means to communicate in that manner. I'm on my podcast, the podcast that I choose to make, that I choose to engage in, that I don't force on other people. I don't even promote this everywhere. Like, I tell people I have a podcast, but I don't even send them a link for real. I was like, if you want it, you got to go to my Instagram and find it. There is a link that you can click, and it will take you to my podcast if you want it. You don't have to listen to it. I don't think most people make it all the way through my whole podcast, and that's fine. I literally, listen, you were 27 minutes in if you got this far. Because there's a podcast. There's also videos on YouTube where you can see my face of me talking about the stuff that I'm talking about, and you can see the stuff that's happening with my face and how I perceive myself, because this reflection that's happening is me perceiving myself in my reflective space, and it's just me talking to myself in a room more frequently than not by myself. Ain't no script. It's just me just talking to myself. It's just me doing it for myself. This could be a journal entry. You could call these vlogs. You could do a whole bunch of stuff. It's just a podcast because I take this video, right? And then I take the sound out of the video. And then I put the sound on Spotify. I don't force people to watch these. I don't like forcing people to do nothing. So I tell people I'm opinionated. I tell people I like to talk. I tell people that communication and direct communication, compassionate comprehension. Direct communication and compassionate comprehension. So DCC. See? DCCC. Dirk. Is my preference. I don't like penis, by the way. I was using an acronym and it was funny and ironic. Is my preference. Direct communication and compassionate comprehension. So I like people to understand. I like people to have a full understanding of what I'm saying when I get to communicate. I do not get to choose. I do not get to choose whether they understand me or not. If that were the case, I would have much nicer conversations. And I say nice. I would have much more pleasant conversations more frequently, because then I would not have to defend myself while I'm explaining things using English. A lot of people in my dynamic, because a lot of people are unhealed when it comes to direct communication, because Americans have been taught that passive aggressiveness is the most simplified way to be communicative. I am directly aggressive. Look at me. Look. Let me see. Can I get to look directly into my eyes right now? I bear light as a necessity. This vessel. Am directly aggressive. Okay, you're not going to have to be confused if I am starting to show signs of aggression. You will not have to guess if I am agitated. You won't have to surmise whether my frustration is starting to boil over, because it will be very, very evident in my behaviors and mannerisms. I will not stop. I will communicate very clearly. I am agitated. I am frustrated. I am upset. I will clarify for you if you ask me what is wrong. I will still say in those dynamics, all is well, because nothing is wrong. Always, always. ALWAYS, comma, ALL space, WAYS. Even if I don't enjoy it, it is well. Call that a Christian thing, call that a Buddhist thing, call it a whatever you need to. The universe is going universe, whether I disappear in the blink of an eye right now, and this month, boom, all this could just disappear. This podcast don't even make it off to my phone. It could happen, and I am okay with that, and it would still be well. Well, just boom, could just happen. Get down, boom, could just happen, and I would still be here doing this. I would disappear, and that's what would be happening. But you would know very clearly that this face that is, and I'm looking at my face now, that is slightly amused. I'm going to give you a face that's not slightly amused. You would know. You would know immediately, because I'm not. I grew up people pleasing. I grew up in a household where your face could not drop from happy. Because if it dropped from happy, there was a problem. Something was wrong. You was wrong. There was a wrong. Wrongity, wrong. Didn't do it very well. I just, and then I walked into life with that understanding. Okay? So now that I don't do that, right? I don't do that no more. People have learned to, they learning. People are learning, and some have learned. For those who have learned, I love you. Thank you, because I don't want you to do nothing you don't want to do. I'm not finna do nothing I don't want to do. We are in alignment. There are some who are still learning that they too get to do whatever it is that they want to do. Which also means that when they do what they want to do, I get to do what I want to do in response to that. I don't think a lot of people know what that means. Like, everybody being free mean nobody got to listen to nobody. And nobody got to do anything nobody want to do unless they choose to. It would be an active choice of engagement. And I'm always willing, under informed consent and request, to do damn near anything. Damn near it. I have done lots of stuff under informed consent and request. Tons and tons of stuff. Don't worry about it. I ain't doing most of that stuff now. But you know, so like the communication of I'm not responsible for your being, and I don't have the capabilities of controlling your being become very clear if we just start talking. Just you made it to 35 minutes. I mean, you listened to like 9 more minutes of me talking from the last time that I did a number count on the podcast. I don't know if I did one earlier than that, but since the last time I made some sounds about the numbers that are happening in this podcast, you were like, "Oh yeah, you know this has been very pleasurable for me to engage in. My ears, my ears love the way that this vibration is going about right now, you know, and my brain get to tingling with the information that I'm receiving from the vibration I am perceiving through the dedication of this person." I had a rhyme, but I stopped. Communicating the way that they feel out loud. I have learned, in my experience, I have learned that by being a steward, not a savior, by allowing people to witness me doing this, the being this, I don't know what this is yet. I am processing that this is what this is, but I don't know what this is because I don't know anything like this. I have met similar things going through other processes, and there is a whole nother communication of what I experience in this very small portion of what I know. There's a lot in there about what I know. But I don't know what this is. So I cannot, for the life of me, tell you what that is. I can't tell you what that is. I can tell you the patterns and behavior that I am perceiving. I can tell you what it is doing. I can tell you what it looks like it might be doing near me based upon other things are doing near me. I cannot tell you what it is. I cannot be like, oh, that's a narcissist. I'd be like, hey, you acting like, I feel like you acting like, I feel like the engagements you are having with the world is enter in supposed thing that my feelings and constructs have brought up and about due to my previous experiences with being alive. I can do that, but I cannot tell you how to do it, why to do it, when to do it. I can say, okay, you doing something over there. That, as a steward, I see you doing that. The rest of us are going to go this way. And if you want to go this way with us, you would have to change directions. Your behavior would have to shift so that you could come with us. So we could go together this direction. But in no way, shape, or form am I going to be like, oh, don't go that way. Don't go that way. No. No. See, you going to go that way, right? Because I'm not a shepherd. I'm not a shepherd. I'm not a savior. There is no religion backing me. There is not the apostles of Bear. You know, because they would barely be there in the first place. I'm talking to myself. I'm entertaining myself. This is me in my room entertaining myself right now. Okay, I find myself very, very enjoyable and entertaining. In no way, shape, or form do I get to dictate what you get to do with yourself. I can, in a very public manner, talk about things that are on a public platform in a public way. And I can choose to engage with those things. And I can choose to give those things my time and my energy. And I can choose it. I don't have to. So, yes. I think I'm going to summarize for the next 20 minutes, giving more examples and experiences. But I'm not a savior, you know? I have never, in this current practice that I am currently undergoing, I should say, have expressed saviortude. I can save you from yourself. I can help you. I can do a thing for you that you can't do for yourself. I don't. Nope, that's an inside job, bro. That's just, I can hand you some tools. Hey, if you wanted to go ahead and just work on some string theory real quick and just get in there, just hold on to that real quick. Yeah, hold on to that. Yeah, that's gonna handle that. You wanna. I suggest that rather than take that straight approach that you've been doing with your understanding based upon what you do know, you dive into the darkness of what you don't know. If you could just, for some particular reason, just dive right into what you don't know and maybe approach life from a different setting, that would give you a more tender perspective of what you could be doing if you go through some discovery fields, because what you have been doing doesn't seem applicable to what you want to be doing. And you could be doing this other thing. You could. You don't have to though. You don't have to. I had to choose 18 years of not a house, not stability, not security, not foundational. I got to choose that. Plus 18 plus years, I got to choose that before I got to understanding that stability not the worst in the world, and the fear that I had with stability was off of an experience that came with family and the experience I was having at that time with family and through family ordeals. But it wasn't stability in itself. The same thing I had to do with healing money, or healing my understanding of money, or healing the practice of money, or healing the understanding that money is a tool that comes to me when it is needed, and I get as much of it as I want of it when I need it for things that I want and need. As long as I know for sure that that's the thing that I want and need, it does that. Boop, pop. Boop, boop. Real quick, real solid, real easy, no pressure. No faults. Just does a thing. Having an experience now. Here's some more experience for you. What? Whoa! There's an experience you're having, and I just kind of roll with those things. But it took me. I won't say some time because I disregard that as an experience. It took me several experiences worth of a dynamic. It wasn't time. Time didn't teach me a goddamn thing. Okay, it wasn't 18 plus years of time. It was me being like, okay, I got to live inside some places. I got to live outside some places. I got to live inside some places. I got to live outside some places. Some things occurred outside some places, and I was like, oh no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I'm good on what it took for me to not do that again. I'm good. I'm good. When someone forcibly makes you go live somewhere that you don't want to live, not the most pleasant experience in the whole world, When someone has you living with people you don't want to live with, no. So now I advocate I'm such an advocate for those who do not have the capabilities to communicate in this manner yet. I don't think my opinion is the only opinion. I do think it is an opinion. I do think this opinion here that I have about being vocal about the thing that you want to be happening when you want it to be happening in a manner that is compassionate and kind. I think having that be the display is how we heal one another, person to person, place to place, instant to instant, is being kind and compassionate. If it sounds like I'm being aggressive in this moment, I am being passionate with my compassion and a kind approach, because I have been taught by the society and the culture and the peers that I have that in order to get people to listen to us, we should also show the exact same type of bitter, passive, aggressive tendencies that are bitter and passive and resenting from previous engagements that do not help us have kind, compassionate, and pleasant engagements with one another, because that's what we're seeking. That's what I'm seeking. I'm seeking kind and compassionate experiences with one another. So I offer kind and compassionate experiences with the people that I engage with. Do I have frustration? Yes. Yes, I do. It's valid. It's valid frustration. If you tell me you are not a liar and then cannot own up to you lying, I'm going to be frustrated. If you tell me you are not a cheater and us both being polyamorous people, you do not communicate when you have a new partner, that's cheating. I'm going to be frustrated. If you tell me, what's another one that I've experienced? That you want to have an open, flowy, honest conversation, and in the midst of an open, flowy conversation, someone says something that is not pleasant to you, and you find it as an attack, I'm going to be frustrated, because my understanding is that we are communicating what our wants and needs are up front. I would hope that that's the dynamic I have. I tell people all the time, I love them. I don't think people know I don't have to like them to love them. Like, I don't know if that's... I love crows. Love them. I don't like them all the time. I don't like crows all the time. They're really apprehensive. You gotta deal with their trauma. You gotta feed them snacks and trick them into being your friends. But once they're your friends, you cool. You good. You on good people streets. You out there moving in the world now. You got a flock of crows that follow you, toe to toe. There's a couple murderers that'll just hang out with you if you ever come to this place again. They know you. They will recognize you. They will see you. They'll roll up on you and be like, what's up? How you feeling? You got some more of them snacks? Because, where snacks at? Where snacks at, bro? Hey, yo, last time you was here, you threw some snacks. You've been throwing snacks for a couple weeks now. Why don't you have more snacks right this? Nah. Right. So, I am not looking for more crow friendships. I'm not looking for more dynamics that are like, hey, the last time you were here, you did this thing for me. And so I need you to do this thing for me again. Every time you show up. And if you don't, I'm just going to yell until you do, incessantly. Because that's the experience that people have been taught, is that if they just yell about the stuff that they want to happen more frequently, something will happen. Not my experience. That's not what ever happened in my experience. In my experience, what happens is is I want something to happen and I'd be begging for it. I'd be wishing for it. I'd be like, please, just speak to me with direct communication. I really just want to know how you feel. And then people don't. And I'd be like, all right, cool, I gotta go. They'd be like, why? Why? What happened? Like, we seem to be having, like, everything's not perfect. And I go, well, let's see. Like, you're saying, like, I hear that language. I hear you tell me everything's not perfect. First of all, yes, it is. First of all, yes, it is. Yes, yes, it is perfect. You're talking to yourself like a white colonialist. A white colonist. Sorry, pardon my language. I was saying colonial and colonist at the same time. So I got neologism. We came out as colonialness. That's not a word. It's colonist. And somebody gonna rip me up in the comments, but that's fine. I'll deal with that one when I get to it. You're talking to yourself like you're part of a machine, and you having quote unquote imperfections is not exactly the way you were designed. You having quote unquote flashbacks or engagements or responses to the trauma that you've experienced in your lifestyle, in your lifetime, and the experience of being in the vessel that you're in makes you less than for some particular type of reason. The flaws that you're describing to me out loud, the thing you say is imperfect in yourself, is in comparison to somebody who is not you, who has not had your experiences. So then, what's not perfect? What about you isn't perfection? At what point in time does you having big emotions mean that you're not perfect? At what point in time does you not having a full grasp or understanding of how to navigate hard emotions not perfect? What does being better mean to you when you're perfectly yourself in this experience right now? At what descriptions do we get? What characteristics do you develop where something prior is cast away, like a Pokemon, where in the game, the series from Game Boy, you could get a new power, but you had to cast the old power away. When are all of the skills you have amalgamated in this lifetime not transferable and can now become another piece of the perfection that is you? When did that happen? Because what I'm hearing a lot of people say by saying that they're not perfect and it's not always perfect and we're all flawed is, no, not first of all, no. When people say that, that's a red flag for me. That's a red flag. That's a red flag for me. To think that there's a comparison for what you should be. This is what I am. That is what you are. And if these two things get along, selfishly, I want more time with that thing in my space as a steward. If we all want to go that way, I would love that. But if you yourself want to go that way, that's fine. I myself have chosen to not walk this way with the crowd and have gone this way and have not regretted walking by myself. Because to me, there is no by myself. We're always together. We're always together because atoms don't touch. And everything is vibrating energy, quite literally. Because how we perceive the universe through these very, finite vessels. My meat suit says that it understands that scientists theorize things, and everything that is science is the study of a thing, not the knowledge of it. And everything scientific is not factual, it is the theory of the thing.
So then none of this is all the way real ever. It's just how we perceive it consciously as a group. So then we agree that that is what we are seeing and perceiving. Like you are listening to English, but my dog, my cat, my lizards, my plants are just telling me that there's vibrations and my cadence is doing a very specific thing. And this is not the same as this to them. It's not. It's not. And so, knowing that I get to make a choice to be a steward, and that you also can steward things in your area with kindness and peace and compassion and grace and forgiveness, because I don't think, in my experience, I'm not familiar with a lot of people practicing self forgiveness, having an understanding of what it is to forgive oneself, having an understanding of what it is to forgive someone else. I don't think that's an experience that people get. I forgive people all the time. I just don't forget the shit that they do. I forgive you for freaking the fuck out at me. I also will never forget that you freaked the fuck out at me. Is there a possibility for you not to freak the fuck out at me? Absolutely. But if you freak the fuck out at me several times, I'm going to remember that you freaked the fuck out at me. You're forgiven because, it didn't, no sweat off my brow. It didn't change the course of my engagement with this vessel. Also, you probably get less time with me now if freaking the fuck out is what you choose to do repetitiously when you don't get your needs met, don't express your needs out loud clearly, when you have been subjected to the choice of communicating directly and having comprehensive and compassionate comprehension. You get to make some choices there. You get to choose to have an engagement that says that what you want and what you do and how you want and how you do is facilitated by the brain and the heart and the gut that you have inside you, the thing that is you. And at no point in time does any of those things become a separate entity outside of yourself. One of my biggest pet peeves in this dynamic that we currently have in the society is when people separate a part of themselves and say that a part of themselves made them do a thing. Like my brain told me, the same one that's talking to me right now? No, inside my brain, because inside my brain is crazy. My love, I'm talking to myself right now. My love, I'm having a conversation with myself right now. My love, I am acting like right at this very moment I am engaged in theater, and I am performing as if the one that I am whispering and speaking to can perceive that I am whispering and speaking to them. You're right. Okay, you inside your brain is crazy too. Our brain, yes, inside our brain is crazy too. But I'm still making a choice to choose to love, to choose to engage compassionately. I have already spoken to all of the people that I have brought up in this particular conversation about the things that I have had navigation around and to with them. This is not a after sight. This is not a passive point of context to disregard the experience that I have as a human with other human beings. This has been a very clear engagement as a podcast to say that there is no way that I can save you if you are not willing to save yourself. There is no way that I can put in more work than you can for you, about you, to you, if you don't want to do that yourself. And that's all of the spiritual practices that exist in the world, whether it's rock standing, room measurements, moon cycles, whatever. If the practice of looking into the darkest parts of yourself doesn't help you come out with something that you didn't discover previously to this point in time,
then yeah, you're probably going to have a terrible time with other humans. I love you. I really do. From the bottom of my being. All is well, always, always. Barely Doing Stuff Now with Words, episode 2. Have a great rest of your... This is evening in my time. It could be day where you are. It could be, whatever. But I appreciate you wholeheartedly taking time to listen to this. I appreciate you giving a new perspective to engaging, at least, just receiving new information from somebody who is full of themselves and willing to share that self with the rest of the world. And I hope one day you get full of yourself to the point where you want to put out more of yourself in a way. I thought I was going to be like a whole bunch of other stuff, and talking is what got me. You see what this is? This is like I'm talking right now. I wasn't raised to be a talker.